Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And what will Part 3 be called? Well, I've come up with a list of 7 of my own predictions and why I think them, so let's get started with number 1. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're about to say, and yes, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion does exist, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. It's the perfect name. It is the perfect title for Final Fantasy VII. Reunion. It is what everyone is talking about in Rebirth, in Remake, in the freaking reveal trailer. It is what everything is centering around. It is the climax. You know, this is what Sephiroth's endgame is. It's just the perfect title throughout the entire compilation. It's about Reunion, and I think it, you know what? Take a listen to this compilation or this montage that I created when I was editing the This Is the Key video on the channel. So check this out.
Heed well our warning of that which is to come.
At last, the time has come.
The reunion.
The reunion.
The reunion. When worlds merge. My fragmented mother. These errant worlds. All shall be one again.
The reunion at hand may bring joy. It may bring fear.
A confluence of worlds and emotions.
Alright, you get the idea. My god, Reunion is everywhere. And, you know what? I know you're probably going to just shoot this one down right away, and that's why I included it as my very first pick. It is my favorite pick, actually, on the list. This and another one. But I think Reunion is the perfect title. So, and by the time this game comes out in, like, let's say 2027, maybe 2028, I think enough time has passed since Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion that it's not going to get confusing any. But also, we can consider that the connection to Crisis Core is actually going to be very, very strong in Part 3. You know that we are going to get Genesis. You know that Angeal is going to be in Part 3. They have to, you know, just take the entire compilation and conclude it with Part 3. And I think, you know, Reunion, perfect title. Let's get on to the next one. I like the name Renew, and here's why. A word like renew can mean so many things regarding this kind of like this swan song of Final Fantasy VII, right? The legacy of this series, this compilation. For as far as characters go, Cloud's mind will be renewed and brought back to his true self in Part 3. And as far as this, you know, overall story, the planet, the renewal of the planet, a renewal of hope. And then, of course, the meta meaning to all of this is, by definition, to extend for a further period of validity the Final Fantasy VII brand, right? Final Fantasy VII is new again. By definition, regeneration is a spiritual renewal or revival, okay? And that's why I've gone with the title to shorten it to Regen rather than Regenesis, because I want to kind of encompass many different words that start with regen. So, like I said, regeneration, a spiritual renewal. And then the restoration of a body is when something regenerates. So all of the fragments of Genova are going to come together, like we heard Sephiroth say earlier, right? All of the fragmented worlds, these errant worlds will come together. So basically a reunion is kind of like a regenesis, right? Or a regeneration. To regenerate is to be formed or created again. So there's your meta commentary right there. That regenerate. And works better to make new cinnamons. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit that out. I'm gonna have to edit this video. I was doing so good without having to edit. All right. Basically, forming or creating again Final Fantasy VII. Then, Final Fantasy VII is not only created again, but by a second definition of the same word, is to be restored to a better, higher, more worthy state. I mean, there you go. And then, of course, if you want to use the word regenesis, which, by the way, I think the title looks really cool that way, which means a new birth or renewal, or, you know, Genesis again. So I've gone with Final Fantasy VII Reform because I was going to actually use Resolve or Resolve. Let's bring that up because I like the way that looks. So my original pick was Resolve. Resolve the ending. Resolve by definition, like they have a resolve to change things. Cloud and the parties resolve. But by definition, reform is to put an end to an evil by enforcing or introducing a better method or course of action. Thank you, Merriam-Webster Dictionary. You know, that right there sounds like part 3. I'm going to read it again. To put an end to an evil by enforcing or introducing a better method or course of action. And as much as I do not agree and think it is an afterthought to keep the story of Final Fantasy VII going, and there's very many contradicting dev interviews saying one or the other, well, it can be interpreted that the ending of the OG is actually bad. The planet lives, but humans go extinct. Final Fantasy VII Remake seems to have adopted this idea as Red gets a vision of him and his 2 children running together and seeing nature has reclaimed the machine that was once killing it, and deems this as something horrible and in need of reform. You heard another word that started with the word re in that, didn't you? And your ears perked up when I said it? Let's get to it.
He wants to reclaim his birthright and rule over the planet with Jenova at his side.
By definition, to redeem someone from a state of vice. Well, Cloud is going to need redemption after his actions in Rebirth. And it is Tifa who will help Cloud reclaim his true self. Final Fantasy VII itself needs to reclaim its position in the pantheon of the RPG genre, right? As viewed by modern gamers, okay? The ones with not the patience to read text boxes and wait their turn in battle. Okay, not me. I think it's the freaking god of the RPG genre. But 7 essentially needs to reclaim its birthright in the eyes of all these gamers out there. And Rebirth, in my opinion, and in critical reception, has certainly made an argument why not only fans of the series should play Final Fantasy VII, but, you know, no matter what kind of gamer you are, you should play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So part 3 will be a final statement, a declaration of reclamation that Final Fantasy is so back, baby. Keyword revival. This is coming from director Hamaguchi. So that is an interesting thing, right? And then also, we have the revival of the Black Materia on the official soundtrack of Rebirth. And then Revival earrings imbued with a spirit capable of restoring one's fading consciousness. A ding, 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 ding. That's the real word of the year, am I right? And, you know, the collective unconscious, of course, and all that good stuff that everybody's talking about and really has no idea what they were thinking until Nojima said it inspired them, and then they went on Google and just researched and listened to hours of podcasts and just people, philosophers talking on the way home from work and just having no idea what they're saying because they're using being twice, one with a capital B and one without it, but with a lowercase b, but they both mean something completely different. The logo looks really cool by, you know, just first glance. I really like the way that looks, better than Revive, and I know it's 3 syllables, not 2. I just think it works. Remake, Rebirth, Revival. So this would also stir up a wonderful controversy on socials of, what does that mean? Who's going to be revived? Well, beside those obvious choices that you immediately thought of, story-wise, Cloud will revive Sephiroth into the physical world. Sephiroth will finally be back whole again on the surface. And a successful reunion would technically be the revival of Jenova and her complete form as well. But, you know, revival also goes beyond that. You know, a spiritual revival that Cloud will have in the live stream, and the revival of the planet from the brink of death and all that other stuff. So, yes, revival works on so many different levels, and I like the way it looks. But let's get to my final prediction title, and let me tell you, I really, really like this one, and it seems to be a favorite among many. So let's go with this one right here. Final Fantasy VII Return is probably my second favorite, aside from Reunion. Final Fantasy VII Return looks great, and there's a couple things that kind of back that, as Return is used quite a bit in the Final Fantasy VII as returning to the planet. And, you know, when you die, we all return to the planet. Jenova will return. Sephiroth will return to the, you know, physical worlds. Just a lot of that kind of stuff. The errant worlds will return to the planet is what Sephiroth says. A homecoming is returning home by definition.
One cannot reach.
Look at this. See how return is in quotations? I know by, like, grammatically I get what it's trying to say, but when you put it in quotations, it really highlights it. And even in the 2015 reveal trailer for They Are Coming Back, right? So there's just a lot of talk of this. And then, of course, the meta commentary that we all, you know, Final Fantasy VII has officially returned with Part 3. So, what do you think? What's your favorite one out of all of these? And then also, is there one that didn't make the list? Is there something? I've heard a lot of people talking about redemption and things like that. I'm curious of what your thoughts are. I mean, we can go through the entire dictionary of all the words that start with RE. That's what I did. Anyways, my favorite, and I just really want Reunion. I just think Reunion looks great. Look at this one more time, would you please? It looks beautiful. Come on, you know it's true. You can forget about Crisis Core. You can. It's okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care now. Bye-bye then.